Alright, hello everyone. Today we have a very interesting character over here. She is a Rupture unit, but also a Poise unit, and also a Retreat unit. She is quite a few different archetypes together. You can treat her like a UngaBunga character that really enjoys Rupture on the enemies, and also enjoys debuffs, like a bit of a Ring Yi-sang, but if the Ring Yi-sang were meant to be in the Rupture team, and that Ring Yi-sang likes to go into the back, because she likes to retreat. So this character looks very interesting. She also has 2 pages, so I expect her to be actually very strong. And also we have a patch note that says that the 8-30 shall not be reverted back to the original difficulty, even though quite a lot of people wanted it to go back to the original difficulty. That one you guys can discuss whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think that I prefer the old one because it was more fun, but at the same time new players should be able to clear it. But at the same time it's also really easy to clear it now, so it just doesn't have the same story impact as before, right? Oh, that guy was very hard, but now he's actually very easy. Whatever, you can go and discuss that in the comment section. Alright, so let's talk about Ishmael over here. We will first begin by talking about all of the stuff that she has over here. It's not so difficult to understand all of this stuff here. First off, she has Ready and Launcher. Ready is the time spent in your retreat slot, in the backup unit slot. So if you ran away or if you deployed in the backup slot, you would have stacks of Ready. And then you also have Launcher. Launcher is the number of turns that you spent active in the encounter, and it expires upon retreat. So when you retreat after fighting on the field, you dump all your Launcher stacks and you start building up Ready stacks. After that, when you come back onto the field, you dump your Ready stacks and then activate your Launcher stacks from then on. So this character is very interesting because she likes to weave in and out of battle, but it's not that like soon. You don't want to weave in and out too much because this has stacks of 6 and this has stacks of 3. So you don't want to instantly weave in and out, but you do want to get a bunch of stacks first and then after that come in or weave out, depending on what you want to do. You also have an assist buff that you can give to your allies, and if the target has X plus negative effects, they gain clash power and deal more damage. So it's a buff to your allies, and it only buffs them when they get debuffed with negative effects, and negative effects can be anything really. Defense level down, offense level down, weakness exploited, whatever the hell the enemy wants to apply to you, like the tremor shenanigans, also all of that really just count as different negative effects and will be able to give you this clash power and more damage quite easily if you are getting hit by unbreakable coin shenanigans. Battlefield Retreat, if you have played with Deviat before, it's basically the exact same. You retreat, you keep your sanity and you keep your HP unless you were negative sanity when you retreated, in which case when you come back later, your sanity resets to 0. Other than that, it's basically a standard Deviat retreat where you just go back, you keep all your HP, you cleanse all your debuffs, your sanity resets to 0 or you retain it if it's positive, and then after that you just come back as the unit as you were beforehand. Alright, so that's pretty much all of the statuses that she has. Next, we have all of these passive stuff over here. We actually need to talk about the support passive in great detail because this character actually will trigger her support passive just by retreating also. So that's going to be quite interesting to look at. Launching maneuver. So this has the word launching in it, which means that it's based on your number of turns spent on the field. Passive. Upon retreat, apply X offense level up next turn to allies in their deployment order, and the number of allies that you affect is going to be based on your launcher stack. So how many turns were you on the field beforehand? If you were on the field for 6 turns, then when you retreat, you would give this offense level up to multiple allies, 6 allies generally, right? If the affected ally is a Jia family unit, you also apply Y offense level up. So this character is going to be tagged as a Jia family character, which means that we will be getting the Hong Lu one, and maybe, I don't know, does Wei count as a Jia family? I think he's not really a Jia, he's a Wei family character. So we'll have to see whether they actually include him as a Jia family or not, right? So we will just look at and see, but you get additional offense level up over here presumably, and this does not affect allies that either return or substitute next turn. On the turn that this unit substituted or returned to the field, you also gain ready stacks, and then at combat start, as the very first skill in the skill order, you use Crimson Strike dash launcher against a random target. On the turn that this unit substitute or return to the field, you gain ready. So ready, you gain it when you come back, and it's based on the number of turns that you spent as a retreat or as a backup unit. So once you retreat, you dump your launcher stacks, and then while you're in the back, you start building up ready stacks, and then when you come back onto the field, then you pop the ready stacks to activate a special Crimson Strike launcher. This character does not have a 3-2, she has a skill 1-2, not a 3-2. Very interesting. And then the next passive, Rupture Breathing Resolve. This character is very similar to the C clan. The C clan, like Gregor or Rodion, like to hit things with Rupture so they can gain poise. Same thing over here. If Shichun kills any target and they have Rupture potency on them, she gains poise based on the rupture potency on the target. Don't know if there will be a cap here. I think there should be a cap. If this unit gain up to X poise with the above effect, you also gain poise count equal to the rupture count on the target. This character likes to unga-bunga. She likes to hit people with rupture on them. Not necessarily she's going to be a very good rupture applier, but she does look like she will be, just because of the next line over here. In a clash, if this unit's offense level up is higher than the target's, you gain clash power. Wow, offense level up already improves your clashing power, and then you gain raw clashing power on top of that. That's going to be a very, very powerful clashing character. In a clash, if the unit's offense level is higher than the target's, you also inflict more rupture potency or rupture count. Aha, now that shit there looks like absolute crack cocaine, because look over here, rupture count, rupture potency, count, and then over here is rupture potency and rupture count. So getting additional potency and count application, oh my goodness, this character looks very, very spicy, because this character is like the C clan. You gain a bunch of crits for hitting people with rupture, and you're also probably going to be a decent applier of rupture potency and rupture count if you can get offense level up to be quite high, so you can actually go and clash people. So against weaker enemies that suck at clashing and have shit offense level, then this character is going to get some very, very fancy stuff. And against characters that are stronger than you, you might have to use the chesed power, or you might have to go and build up your own offense level up in order to make sure that you're able to go and be higher than them when you're fighting them. So we'll just have to wait and see which fights you can actually use this on, because I wonder how high the offense level of the enemy is going to be that this becomes a major problem for you. In fact, maybe future units will go and nuke the enemy's offense level so that this character can be more consistent in gaining this clash power and whatnot. Alright, the support passive. So when you're retreated, what happens? If you died, then you apply assist to the subsequently substituting identity. So whoever is replacing her after she's dead will get the assist power. Alright, but if she's alive, then this won't really trigger. In chain battles, if this unit is a backup or has retreated, you activate the following. Combat start. Among the units who are at X% HP or lower and used a defense skill, choose the identity with the fastest deployment order. At turn end, that identity recovers from stagger caused by damage and performs a battlefield retreat. So she can actually force people to retreat, which is very, very interesting, especially since the WoW ego for Honglu actually wants to kill him over time. Right, he's bleeding over time. So if he does drop to X% HP or lower and he does use a defense skill, will Honglu actually retreat and be able to recover and then come back? Because when you retreat, you actually cleanse yourself of all your debuffs. So if that thing that he gets using the WoW ego is considered a debuff, he might be able to actually cleanse it. Shichun saves Honglu, and then after that Honglu comes back later on, which is very, very interesting to me, and I can't wait to see what the hell they have cooking with this kind of ID over here, right? So that is all of the passive stuff over here. Summary is just she gets stuff when she's off the field, she gets stuff when she's on the field, and then you use the appropriate skill to go and trigger the stuff that you want to trigger. Alright, so what can make her retreat besides being defeated is that she has adept evasion. Combat start at X plus launcher. She performs a battlefield retreat. So you need a certain amount of stacks. Basically, how long have you been on the field? Once you have been on the field for long enough, you will be able to use your evasion to run away. Upon retreat, you move to the frontmost place in the backup unit's deployment order, which means that she returns first before the other backup units substitute in, which is very, very interesting. It means that she just goes back and then goes to the front immediately. So whoever was on your 7th slot will get kicked out. That's how it works. And then on use, you also gain poise count, and on evasion, you also gain poise potency. It looks extremely spicy. It's basically the full stop evasion. Very, very good stuff, right? Then skill 1. For X type of negative effects, you gain clash power. This negative effect part will appear multiple times, okay? So this part here, negative effect, gain coin power. Over here, negative effect, gain attack weight. And then you also have coin power for negative effects over here. So this character is like your Ring Yi-sang. She likes debuffs on targets, and debuffs can be anything: your death rights, your ruptures, your defense level down, your offense level downs, whatever shenanigans you're going to apply, those all count as debuffs for the purposes of giving her all of this stuff over here, which is very, very spicy. She also has coin power gain for rupture. Over here is going to be at X plus ready stacks gain coin power. So how long have you spent in the back, then you will get a bunch of coin power, right? And then over here is rupture coin power, and over here is going to be coin power for sum of rupture and rupture count on main target. Same as here basically. Yeah, it's just coin power based on the rupture on the target. So you want rupture on the target, you want negative effects on the target. Debuffs are gonna be her best friend, same as Ring Li Sang. Looks very spicy already. You also have gain poise and poise count, gain poise count, gain poise and poise count, gain poise equal to rupture on target. You also have damage scaling, and you also have gain poise count equal to rupture count on target. Holy shit, that one looks absolutely spicy over here. And then over here, gain poise over here, and gain poise and poise count. And if you crit kill someone, you also gain poise count. So poise wise, this character has so many sources of it, and it's quite insane how much poise that this character can get, because this is just not even including the passive where you kill people and you actually get the poise from killing people. So this character looks really strong. You can snowball by killing someone, and then you start critting on every single attack, and all of your attacks give you poise. So it looks really damn strong. And since this character can crit, right, it can actually trigger the Seize Death Right, the Venom Death Right, which requires you to crit on a Rupture application skill, which this character has everything about it. So she works well with the Sea Clan. Looks really good. The Crimson Strike launcher that she gets from coming back onto the field will be based on how long she has been off the field. So your ready stacks will affect whether you get a big attack weight and whether you get a big coin power attack over here. But you can essentially treat this as a free attack. It's just a free attack. It's very good. It's going to inflict a bunch of rupture potency, and it can trigger all of the Death Right Venoms on all the targets that she hits over here. Looks really cool. Crimson Phoenix is a 4-coiner. This thing is going to hit like an absolute truck. Coin power, defense level down, rupture count, gain poise count, and then you also deal X plus poise on self plus rupture on target percentage damage on critical hit. So definitely try to crit with this character if you can, to do giga damage with this skill 2 over here. It's going to be a very powerhouse skill for sure, especially with 2 lines of coin power and all of this other stuff over here. Remember that this character is still going to go in the rupture team, so 4 coins of hitting something with rupture on them on top of all of this is just going to be absolutely disgusting. And skill 3 is also disgusting because this skill gets X plus type of negative effects attack weight, and also has launcher attack weight. So if you're on the field for a while, you will get the additional attack weight over here. Then coin power for negative effects, and coin power for rupture and rupture count on target. And then after that, clash wing, gain poise, and then multiplier number 1, multiplier number 2 on crit, and multiplier number 3 for every launcher on yourself. So your skill 3 is your cash out skill for your launcher. And then once you have a lot of launcher stacks and you pop your Crimson Spring, you might want to consider running away first, so you can build up ready stacks so you can come back, or you need to bring in your character on the bench to come back in, or whatever the reason you want to go and retreat. All of it is a viable reason, because this skill tree here is basically your biggest cash out skill for your launcher, and you want to have as much launcher as possible before you use the skill tree. So once you pop that, you might want to consider retreating, just so you can use another strong unit to come in and then do some big nuke or something, and after that you go and swap this character in. Maybe it would be like retreat the Sichun, bring in the Honglu pop the Wow Ego, kill him after a while, and then the Sichun come and replace him, right? That kind of flow kind of makes sense to me already. So it looks really exciting for whatever kind of stuff they're cooking with this character. Then you also have inflict rupture count, gain poise and poise count. Like, why do you even need these extra lines over here? The extra damage here plus the attack weight over here just shows that this Crimson Spring is going to nuke a bunch of enemies in one turn. If the boss has multiple body parts, they're absolutely destroyed, right? This character is very interesting and has a lot of potential synergies with whatever kind of characters are coming out later on. We still have the Honglu, we still have the Sinclair, we still have the Wei Yisang. So there's still 3 more characters that can come out with some other crazy shenanigans. I want to see offense levels, I want to see more rupture shenanigans, I want to see maybe some sort of mechanic to just retreat them if they're going to die, so they don't actually have to die, and then they come in and just do a big nuke every now and then, right? So it looks really interesting to see what kind of future this character is going to have. I think she's going to be a very strong character already on release, even if you don't have the other pieces of the Rupture UngaBunga puzzle, just because she can trigger the Sea Clan's Death Right Venom, and the Faust is still here, and Malfaust is still the most broken character in the game. So this character helping to trigger additional Death Right stacks also, yeah, that's just going to help them out a lot, right? So yeah, this character looks very interesting. Can't wait to see what else she's got. And that's going to be it, I think, for this video. I got no other information over here. Looks really interesting, and I just want to see what other synergies they're going to release on release. And also I want to see all of the numbers over here. How much count she's gonna get, how much poise she's gonna get, How much damage multipliers is this going to be? 250%? 300%? I don't really know. Skill tree AoE with 300% multiplier. This character is going to be absolutely disgusting. It's basically like Fire Fist if Fire Fist had an AoE skill tree instead, right? So this thing here looks very, very, very disgusting. Xia family looking to be an absolute beast, and Rupture is definitely going to be the meta status for a long time just because of Malphite's existence, and also because all of these other support characters are going to be very synergistic and very, very powerful for just applying all of these Rupture shenanigans and also being UngaBunga as well, right? Okay, so that's going to be it, guys. If I missed anything, feel free to let me know, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.